WagerTalk continues to be an innovator in this industry, and our WagerBucks program is just one example. Because it's the holidays and we're feeling festive, we're giving you $100 worth of WagerBucks for only $49 using promo code WB49 at checkout. So how do they work? It's simple. You buy credits in bulk at a discounted rate and then apply them dollar for dollar towards your purchase. Use your purchase WagerBucks on $2 Tuesday, $9 packages on Monday. Buy your favorite 5% plays with or without the guarantee. Grab a 7-day all-access pass or even a 12-month package. That's right, purchase WagerBucks can be used on everything with no restrictions at both WagerTalk and SportsMemo.com. Due to the incredible savings, this special offer is limited to one per customer. From all of us here at WagerTalk, Sports Memo, and the Gold Sheet, we wish you a wonderful holiday season and a prosperous new year.
Good morning, guys. Welcome in right here to WagerTalk TV. We are back on Puck Time. I am Andrew McInnis. I have Carmine Bianco with me as usual and Lawrence Presman in his usual Wednesday spot. Guys, yesterday we had a sweep on Puck Time. Carmine, Buster, and I both, all of us, cashed our best bets, our power plays on the show. We'll try and do it once again here today with the three of us on this busier Wednesday slate in the National Hockey League. Before I jump in and get to Carmine, I just want to throw up a quick graphic and talk about kind of the style of hockey that we thought we might see yesterday. And boy, oh boy, did that style of hockey come true yesterday. We saw a 5-4, a 6-3, and an 8-7. Tuesday was the NHL's first 3-game day to feature at least 33 goals scored since February 24th, 1993. Unbelievable. We threw around the expression pond hockey yesterday. I like that theory of betting overs when there's been a layoff. I think that players don't forget their skill. They forget the defensive awareness. They forget the strategic side of things on the defensive end of things. And Buster really nailed it. He was loving those overs yesterday. And I'll tell you, Carm, I like the overs too, except for in one game. One game I played an under last night. And I'm really happy you don't lose more money for how bad you're wrong in a game, because I had the under in the Coyotes and the Sharks game. And that was 5.5, and that game finished 8-7. But a 2-1 night for me last night. I'll take that any day of the week. But an action-packed night last night, Carm, in the NHL.
Yeah, it certainly was. I think it goes sort of part and parcel with, not having all the number ones in net. But even if the number ones were in net, it's just it was some sloppy play. It was pond hockey. I would caution against letting what happened yesterday influence what you do today. Each day is independent of itself, and these guys have had an extra day of practice. The teams that didn't play last night. So, and you look at it. The San Jose game is probably a perfect example of that. You've got Reimer in net. And we talked about it yesterday. Reimer's in net, and he's been solid all season, having a great year, and he allows 7 goals. It just seemed like I tuned into that game late. I was watching the series Succession, as I told you guys about, and then I'm watching the game. Like, okay, well, they're up 2 now. San Jose should be good, up 2 with Reimer in net, and then they blow that lead, and then they get up 2 again, and they blow that lead. 7-7 goes to OT. And I'm like, this can't be happening. I had San Jose to close out a parlay, so I'm happy it got there. But we're on to today. And just before I throw it to Prez, I did mention just before the show, I was talking with our producer, and I can't believe, unless, correct me if I'm wrong, Andrew, there is not a site out there, NHL.com is not doing it, ESPN, that is giving you literally up-to-date COVID lists for the players. I think that would be a great tool to know who is in and out without having to search each team's site on NHL.com or even on Twitter. So that's information that I think is valuable to us as bettors. But anyways, Prez, you're looking great today. How you doing, my friend?
I'm not looking great at all, Carm. I'm haggard. But I appreciate the kind words. Enjoy Secession. I quit after episode 6. Where are you at?
I just got halfway through 7.
Prez, what's with you and quitting shows? Didn't you quit like Ozark?
There's a million great
Prison
shows
Break?
to watch, Andrew. There's a million great shows to watch. You start a show, you think you can do better or you're not interested in it, then you end it and you move on. I'm in the middle of watching the second season of Alex Rider. Alex Rider is a masterpiece of a show. Listen, I got no issue with Succession. My problem with Breaking Bad, Money Heist, Succession, Yellowstone. Firstly, these shows are slow and they're dramas, and I'm an action guy. And secondly, I need a hero. I can't watch shows where every character I want to die. Like, Money Heist starts in the first 10 minutes, they kill a cop. Well, there you go. End of the show. Who am I supposed to cheer for now? You literally killed an innocent cop. And then they're going to make me feel, like I want the bad people, the thieves to win. I don't want to sit through 6 seasons of wanting murderers to do well. But that's just me. Anyway, good to have hockey back for now. It is for now. I got Leaf tickets for the 3rd of January. It was postponed. They're not even giving us our money back. They are giving us a credit for the next rescheduled game, which, based on the Canadian government, might happen in 2027, after we've eradicated all flus and all problems.
Prez, at this point, it's not even about the flu, though. It's the coronavirus. It's about revenue. That's why the NHL is postponing these games now. It's not even about the coronavirus anymore as much as like the players. It's strictly about revenue.
Yeah, they want the fans, but that's I don't want to get into a political conversation, but that's the government's fault. Like, Andrew, my kid went to a Raptor game last night in Toronto. There were fans.
Yep.
That's our government. Fans can go to Raptor games, but not Leaf games. Yeah.
Because I don't really get it.
The virus only affects hockey fans. They weren't allowed to eat at the Raptor game last night because you don't want to take your they closed all concessions. You can't
Don't get me started, Prez.
At a movie theater. You can't eat at a movie theater. But you can eat on an airplane.
Yeah, you can't catch the virus if you're eating pistachios on a flight. I know. Trust me, I get it. Today's games, we are discussing the New York Rangers and the Florida Panthers, Nashville Predators, Washington Capitals, Oilers and Blues, and the Vancouver Canucks looking to keep that streak alive against the Anaheim Ducks. And for anybody that cares, the show I'm watching right now is Dexter, the new season, Dexter New Blood.
Did you see it all? Did you see it all the way to the end of the last season? Like the last time around?
I've watched the show like 2 times all the way through every season.
That would be twice, Andrew. The hell? 2 times? He doesn't even... Oh my God. That's where this world has gotten to, that you don't even know that the term for 2 times is twice?
I've watched it twice, yes.
Anyway, I enjoyed Dexter, even though he was a bad guy. So I should watch it.
The show makes you want to cheer for him, though, even though he's actually not a good person, which is what's funny about it. All right, Prez got his correction out of the way on me for me saying 2 times and not twice. New York Rangers, they're plus 155 on the road at Florida. Florida's minus 185 at home. The total is 6 in this game here. And Carm, I'll go to you for your thoughts in this one, but I just want to bring this out. I'm sure you guys are aware of this, but we're talking about overs. We're talking about, faster pace or sloppy defense, turnovers, poor zone exits or zone entries. How about this? 10 straight overs between these 2 teams. And they're not just slipping over the total. They're not just barely getting there. These 2 teams, when they meet, we see goals. Florida and New York, 10 straight overs. Do we see an 11th one here tonight, Carm?
I'm not entirely sure. I don't want to react off of last night's games, because you look at tonight's game and you're supposed to get two of the best goalies that there are right now. Bobrovsky, I believe, is confirmed, and Shesterkin is finally supposed to be back. He's supposed to be in net. He's been on the ice. He's been practicing. But then again, he hasn't played in 26 days. December 3rd is the last time he played when he got injured. So he's been off 26 days. There's a difference between practicing and gameplay, but I still think the Rangers are a very good defensive team. This is a Florida team who, Andrew, we talked about it. They haven't been the same since Quenneville left, since the coaching change or whatever. What happened at Florida. So they've tightened it up. I don't know. You look at the numbers on Florida, and all you see is high-scoring games. Their last couple at home, obviously losing to the Kings and to Ottawa. They allowed 8 goals to the Ottawa Senators. That's not something you see happen to a lot of teams in at least not in the NHL this season. They're both getting healthy. There's not a lot of players that I can see on the COVID list. Again, I think someone mentioned a site that does have up to date on it. I'll check that one out. But I just think that these are two very good teams. The reaction is to want to play overs, because yesterday they just seemed like they were playing with no goalies in net last night. I would actually lean to the under here. I don't want to take a side here. If you held a gun to my head, I would actually take the Rangers as a live dog, but I'm not going to play it. Prez?
I promise you there will be no guns being held to your head, Carm, forcing you to play this
I
game,
won't
luckily.
promise that.
Prez, what are your thoughts here?
Well, let's start with the fact that you mentioned that, I don't remember the number, but 9 times in a row these teams played each other and went over. That to me, and we all are different, that to me is a just completely coincidental, meaningless statistic. I was racking my brains because, Andrew, I play a lot of hockey, and, I'm an exceptional sitter on the bencher. I was thinking to myself, do we play a team regularly where every time the game goes over, and why? Why? And the answer is no. I think it's a total coincidence, and I don't believe it should be included in anyone's handicap. With that said, I respect people disagreeing with me on that. As for the total in this game, Barkov's probable tonight. I'll assume he's coming back. However, he's, coming off of injury, hasn't played in a long while. Panarin, probable tonight. I'll assume he's coming back. But again, same thing. Huberdeau out. Marchand out. We've got Shesterkin questionable tonight. Georgiev out. I ain't playing the over in this game. We got scorers that are either out or coming back from an injury. We don't know the goalie situation fully. My original thought, though, was on the over in this game when I was looking at it last night. As far as the side goes, again, from a value perspective, like what Carm was saying, are Florida 2-1 better than the Rangers? No way, no chance. I think if these guys played in a Stanley Cup, in the Stanley Cup playoffs, I think this could go 6-7 games. I wouldn't even be blown away if the Rangers won the series. I think the Rangers are a really, really, really good hockey team, really well built. Fox is incredible. They got great goaltending, good defense, and scorers. I think Florida's a really, really good hockey team too. So to me, the value is on the Rangers, but I'm not going to be betting. I'm not touching this game, Andrew. Like, from any area, I'm not touching this game. I will say one thing. If the Rangers go up 2-0 early, I will take Florida in game as a bet.
Andrew, I just want to mention that because I know the whole
Are we about to argue?
The 2 times and twice thing.
I hope not.
Prez did say he was a sitter on the bencher, but they're actually called bench warmers, Prez. It's not a sitter on the bench. It's bench warmer. But anyways, This isn't a show
Do you
about
feel better
grammar,
about
and
that,
it's
Carl?
not grammar
You feel
101.
good?
I got to protect my co-host. So
Yeah,
Andrew,
protect
back
him.
to you.
All I'm trying to do is teach him how to speak English. I'm not starting with him.
All right.
I am teaching.
We still love you, man. We still love you, man.
Blah blah.
So
Somebody
regarding
in the
what you
chat
said
room-
about the 10
Guys,
straight,
Andrew, somebody in the chat room says Buster needs a permanent spot on this show. He could have mine.
unfortunately, he's in Mexico right now, and who knows what the hell he's up to right now. So we can't call him live on the show to come on. But we'll tell Buster that people are happy with yesterday and like having him on. So regarding what Prez said about the 10 straight in a row, I get it, man. I get what you said. And you know what? I say the exact same thing, Prez. I did a video the other day about some betting tips that I like to use for the NHL. One of my top tips was, what have you done for me lately? That's what I love using in the NHL. What the hell have you done for me lately? Not a year ago, not a year and a half ago, not 8 years ago. That's why I hate these trends and angles people use from 1989 when nobody even knew, wore helmets or there were no pads, all this stuff. But these two teams, hold on. The Rangers and Panthers play each other a lot. Those are teams that are both very, very skilled. Those are teams that when you see a 10-0 trend like that, we can't just call it a fluke. These teams are scoring against each other, and I won't ignore it. But if it was, at 7-3 or 6-4 or something like that, I get it. I mean, if it was teams that played 3 times a year, Prez, twice a year maybe, I'd agree right there with you. If that was a 5 or 6 year trend, but that's a pretty good trend,
Andrew,
man. 10 straight.
I want to say one thing about what you said at the beginning of that. It's super important because this is a betting show and not only giving out picks, but, just talking in general about how to become a better. Carm, do you have a problem with that? Are you going to correct me?
A more complete better?
Anyway.
Wait, Prez, real quick, I have to say, I love seeing, you're talking about grammar and spelling, people actually thinking the word better and using it B-E-T-T-E-R. Weird pet peeve for me, I see online, but it's B-E-T-T-O-R, everybody. There's 2 different words there. Go ahead, Prez.
Yes, thank you for that lesson, Mr. 2 times. So what I was going to say is, Andrew, when you talk about you're not interested in stats that go back to 1989, what have you done for me lately? I think that I love that approach, and it's an approach that I personally use more often than not, except when it comes to coaches. And that is really, really important, because if you take a look at these coaches, and, you've got some coaches in this league with just a massive resume. Bruce Boudreau, for instance, guys that have been coaching, Paul Maurice before he disappeared, guys that have been coaching, for 15, 20 years in the NHL. You have a coach who's never lost 4 games in a row. That's important. You have a coach that's 80% off of a loss. That's important. You have a coach that plays to the under after his team gets blown out. That's important. And it does, the longer those statistics, the further back they go, the more relevant they are to me. So to me, I just wanted to make mention that although I agree with you conceptually, coaching trends are crucial when handicapping. Marty Schottenheimer, Andrew, I'm sure you've never heard of the guy, but Carmen, I know who he is. Marty Schottenheimer coached for like 30 years or something in the NFL, 4 different teams. He playing him at home off of a loss was like 80-something% over a 30-year career. Those trends, those stats are crucial, and I think some of the most important betting pieces to the puzzle.
That's a great point, Press. I agree with everything you just said there. One last point I wanted to mention about the Florida Panthers before we move on to our next game. We have several games to get to. I just wanted to say that Carmen and I on the show yesterday talked about, sometimes just looking at and not really thinking too much about this pause we had, a week without action. But some teams are going to benefit from this. Just the same way that some teams, a 2-3 game losing streak in the NFL, they desperately need a bye. And the bye week sometimes comes at a good time. This is kind of a bye week. The Florida Panthers were not playing good hockey. I think this bye week, so to speak, might be good for them. Give me the Panthers minus 105 in regulation tonight. I think they get the job done. I think they win tonight and get on a little bit of a roll because they were not playing well. They're going to get healthier and start rolling here. Our next game, Prez, I'll start with you. The Nashville Predators and the Washington Capitals. The Nashville Predators were red hot, closing things out before we had that little mini pause. They're plus 130 on the road. Alexander Ovechkin's Washington Capitals. Well, some people thought they wouldn't be as good this year. They were pretty wrong. Minus 150. They continue to roll. Alexander Ovechkin continues to park himself in his office and just, get those one-timers every single game, it feels like. What are your thoughts in this game, Prez?
I think this game's going over the total, Andrew. Washington 16-13 to the over. Nashville 15-15, so they're pretty even. I think we saw last night, and one of the great points you made at the top of the show, skill never leaves, but playing defensive hockey does. I think we're going to see that tonight. Nashville, although 3 unders in the last 4 games before the break, this is a team that's really not had problems scoring. It's actually been amazing. I thought Nashville was going to be on the outs coming into the season, and they're doing just fine. Washington can score with anybody. One thing about Washington, they remind me like of the New England Patriots. Or, if I got to put up 30 points to win, I'll put up 30 points to win. If I got to put up 13 points to win, I'll put up 13 points to win. That's what Washington is. This team can play any type of competition. They can beat you 6-5. They can beat you 2-1. I think Nashville's going to get some goals. And I think we're going to see I think this is going to be the highest scoring game of the day. The over for me all the way.
I was in an Uber when I was in Vegas, and the guy was a Nashville fan, huge Nashville Predators fan. And he said, I'm not feeling good about this year unless this team can go on a run and start scoring some goals. And kind of during that week that I was there, Prez, they did exactly that. They started scoring some goals finally. And their depth started to come out to play. So Prez likes the over in this game here, Carm. Look, when I take a look at this game, as far as a side perspective is concerned, both these teams have been hit by COVID, at least mildly. Seems like every team, in the entire league has been. But which team's depth would you rather have, the Capitals or the Predators right now? Because I'll take a team that had a little bit of COVID problems for the Capitals versus a team with Nashville that dealt with some COVID. Would you agree with that, Carm?
Yeah, listen, I can agree with it. And I don't want Prez to think that I'm going to disagree with everything he says. I think he thinks it's a reoccurring theme, but there are players missing for Washington tonight. I get it. Ovechkin is there, but Wilson is likely out. Oshie out. There's players on that team are out. But I think the more important thing is, and we don't know the starting goalies here, but if it's Saros has been absolutely fantastic of late. The guy's won 7 of his last 8 games. The game he lost was 2-0 to Boston. He's only allowed in those 8 games, he's only allowed more than 2 goals once. That was 3 goals in a 4-3 win over Montreal. 5 of those 7 wins, he allowed 2 goals, and he's got a couple of shutouts as well, too. The guy's playing well in net. The team in front of him is playing well defensively. If he's in net tonight, I can't look at the over. Again, I don't want to overreact to what you had yesterday. I get it. Trying to play unders in Washington games can be bad for your bankroll with a team that can score. But when you're playing a very good defensive team, and these teams have been off a bit, I'm going to lean to defense rules over offense tonight and the under here if it's Saros in net.
All right, Carm, looking the other way, looking at the under in this game. I just want to clarify some of these COVID protocols and some of these guys that were a little bit iffy. For the Predators, Matt Duchene, questionable for today. Ryan Johansson, probable. No Yossi, of course. Borowiecki is probable. Granlund, probable. Sisson's out. Cousins, he's probable. And I want to tell you guys, when you see these probables or questionables, even though these players might be playing, you got to realize there's a reason why they're questionable or probable. You know, if I was playing a pickup game with Carmine Prez and I called him and I said, hey, you know, I'm feeling about 60%. I don't know if I can play today.
You'd still kick our asses.
No, I know, but the point being is,
I know. You literally said, I know.
Immediately.
Have you seen this? Look at that.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to drop the mitts with you. Well, or maybe I would. I've got a pretty good reach advantage on you. But, you know, we have to understand that even though these players are back and they're healthy, it might not mean they're 100%. So when you guys see a player that's been put back into the lineup, it might not mean it's an automatic bet on situation. So, and that could also be, you know, make for some rust. But Carm, I got to ask you, and I'm not trying to rebuttal you by any means, but you keep saying that you're not going to, you know, fall into what we saw yesterday, but you do believe in the theory, right? Like, are you on the same page as far as the offense never really goes away, but defensive legs take some time? Do you agree with that, though, to a sense, right? You just don't want to go all in on the overs.
Yeah, but, you know, the thing is, I think a lot of people, and I'm not saying us or people in the chat, but they assume a guy's on the COVID list and he's home on his couch doing absolutely nothing, watching Succession episodes and eating Cheetos. That's not it. These guys are still fit. They're on the bike. They're still in the gym. They got one at home. These guys are still, you know what I mean? They've been practicing. So it's not as if they don't have legs. They may not have game legs, but it's only been a 5 or 6 game pause or a 5 or 6 day pause. I don't think these guys are out of shape. I just think last night was one of those nights where it was just pond hockey. We could very well see a lot of low-scoring games tonight. Who knows? It remains to be seen, and we'll discuss it on tomorrow's show on what happened. But when I see two teams with very good goalies, and Washington's got a very good goalie, if Saros is in net tonight, he's played, you know, and when you're looking at stats, you know, he's faced Washington 4 times. He's beaten Washington all 4 times. So if he's in net tonight, I may take, while it might not make my card, for clients, it might make my actual betting card and take a live dog maybe with Nashville tonight. You know, I'll wait for people to keep betting Washington. They're at 155 now. If I can get plus 140, plus 150 on Nashville, I'm taking them. Why not?
Yeah, we'll see where that number moves. Follow-up question: are you the guy that's eating the Cheetos and watching Succession?
No, I'll tell you what. Believe it or not, this morning before the show, I was up early and I did 60 minutes on the treadmill. I'm actually surprised, Prez. I'm not.
Way to go, dude.
It only came out to like 60. If you're treadmill guys out there, it only came out to like 6,600 steps. I thought like 60 minutes on the treadmill would have been more than that, but I'm aiming for, you know, about 10K in steps. I put on some COVID weight. I need to lose the COVID weight because I think my shirts are shrinking, but it's actually me that is growing. So I need to lose some weight.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, Carm, flat out, I'm just amazed you didn't say it was 4,000 crawls.
Okay.
You're on there for an hour, so you're on there for an hour. That's pretty good stuff.
Yeah, listen, I love it, man. You know me and working out, dude. Like I am proud of you, Carm. Good job.
Awesome. Thank you,
Bold
sir.
people sweat on their head.
They do. So
just
you know,
all these questions, you know, it's like I don't know the answer, and I probably never will.
Some of your randomness, and you can tell, I just have no idea what to say. But with that, I love it because I can tell you just immediately didn't think twice about asking that. You just said, it came to my head. All right, whatever. I'll ask it.
Hey,
Edmonton,
dude,
they're plus 115.
Dude, I'm divorced, financially stable, and I'm over 50. I'm always saying what comes to my head.
And is there something that you're making up for?
No, can we do another game? I got a show in half an hour.
Edmonton and St. Louis. St. Louis is minus 135 at home. Edmonton plus 115 on the road. Total of 6.5 here. We're seeing a few 6.5s today, guys. And once again, it feels like part of our handicap, maybe 60%, 65, 70% of the handicap right now in the NHL is not figuring out these matchups, not figuring out power play percentages, not figuring out shots on goal, not looking at these line combinations. Part of the handicaps in all of these games, who has COVID, who doesn't, who's in the lineup, who isn't. And right now, it is a grocery list for the Edmonton Oilers of guys that are questionable, probable, and all that good stuff in between. But at least Connor McDavid isn't on that list. No Leon Draisaitl on that list. But St. Louis has a few guys as well. But Edmonton, lots of guys for them. And the big question about this Edmonton team is pretty much the same question we've had for several years. And since I started doing Puck Time with you, Prez, it's the depth. I thought we might have seen it this year. I thought we might have had it for a week or two, maybe 3 weeks. It's not there, man. It's still one line for this Edmonton team. What are your thoughts here, Prez, in this game?
Well, Andrew, thank you so much for asking. I'll make it super quick. There's just too many injuries on Edmonton right now. Obviously, I'm always looking to play Edmonton over the total, but I'll tell you something. I mean, Cassian out, Hyman out. Okay, Hyman's probable, and Hyman's important. Russell, Nurse, on and on. Keith, who knows when he's coming back. Nugent Hopkins. But the most important is Darnell Nurse. If you watch Edmonton closely, this Edmonton team in a 5-on-5 environment is no better than any other team in the league. They're neutral. Their power play is so lights out. It is ridiculous. They might have one of the best power plays in history. That's how good their power play is. And Darnell Nurse is the quarterback of that power play, and he's out. And I think that'll affect the power play. I think the way to play this game is under, Andrew. You got, last I looked, and let me see, it was 6.5. I just, with all of the injuries in Edmonton, I can't see them putting up a whole ton of points. And St. Louis fascinates me. I didn't expect much from the St. Louis team. I thought they would be a defensive-minded team, and they've been scoring. But I think as we move into the second half of the season, we're going to see St. Louis come back to what they've defined themselves to be over the last 3-4 years. And that's an under team. So to me, 6.5, I never play over 6.5. I normally pass on all games with 6.5 on it, but I like the under in this one.
All right, Prez looking towards the under, Oilers and Blues. Any thoughts here for you, Carm?
Well, I'm not going to disagree with Prez. Well, I probably will. I think the Oilers are a live dog despite the guys missing, and you could see some of them return tonight. Check their list. Mike Smith is actually ready to return, which will be a big boost to the Oilers between the pipes because he had 2 very solid seasons with them. I'm more concerned about the fact that, and we saw it last year with the Blues team, is when they're missing players and they've got a list of some players who are missing, they're just not the same team. You look at last year, they buried themselves at the beginning of the season with injuries. And we talked about it, and it wasn't until they got healthy where they made that run towards the end of the season and just eked into the playoffs. It's sort of the same thing. They're missing guys. I get it. Binnington's back in net, but you still have players missing for this team. I don't think that shopping list of Edmonton players is completely correct. I think we see some of them return to the lineup. And this is probably where the price is, why it is where it is right now. I talked about, Andrew, if you guys remember before the COVID shutdown, that the Oilers were in need of a win. And if they won that game, I thought it was a very good get-right spot against Columbus, and they would start to string some wins together. And then they went to Seattle. They beat the Kraken, which a lot of teams going to Seattle aren't beating the Kraken. But they put 2 together, and all of a sudden the shutdown. It couldn't have come at a worse time because it looked like the Oilers were starting to get right again. Can they pick it up off of the 6 or 7 days off they've been? It's actually 11 days off. We'll see tonight. But you give me plus 140, I'm going to take it with the Oilers tonight.
Great stuff. And just looking at the lineups right now, Carm, we will have Hyman in the lineup. We will have the Nuge in the lineup. So we have second line as Nugent Hopkins, Yamamoto, and Draisaitl. Top line, McDavid and Hyman up there together. So It's frustrating because just like you said, Carm, we're doing this show and we're looking at all the websites we try and use for information, but the guys haven't been removed from that question mark next to their name. They haven't had that probable taken away from their name. So you try and look at these websites. I use Daily Faceoff, Left Wing Lock, Daily Roto, Goalie Posts, just a few websites I use for lineup information. And it's starting to pop up for especially some of these West Coast games, the morning skates and all that stuff. We don't really see it when we're doing puck time here at 11 a.m. Eastern, which is tough for us to handicap. But I will say, as much as I agree with Prez that I think it will be a little bit tougher on the power play, it sounds to me like a lot of the two-way forwards and defensive forwards are out for the Oilers. And, of course, Darnell Nurse, one of their best defenders. So we'll see. I might look for an in-game over in this. Maybe it'll start slow and things will pick up a little bit. But it should be a really interesting game. Barbashev might be out as well for St. Louis. But keep checking those lineups, guys. Don't be afraid to wait until these games, wait a couple hours. Wait until 3 p.m. Eastern for these West Coast road trips and all that type of stuff. Vancouver Canucks and the Anaheim Ducks. This is our last game on the board here, guys, for this show. This is a pick'em game here. Vancouver, they are on a big winning streak ever since Bruce Boudreau took over. Anaheim Ducks, they're without Trevor Zegras and Maxime Comtois. They are both dealing with COVID protocols, and I believe those two guys being out hurts that team big time. And the Anaheim Ducks, I will say, Carm, I think may have overachieved in the first little part here of the NHL season. I like Vancouver tonight, man. Last night, they were a dog. I liked them last night, like them tonight. And I will say this for everybody out there, because some people are going to want to jump on Vancouver simply because of this coaching change and this streak that they're on under Bruce Boudreau. I liked the Vancouver Canucks before the season started. I like the makeup of this team. It seems like it's taken some time for them to come into their own. Obviously, the new coaching change has helped them big time. And I don't really buy into the fact some people are saying the pause will hurt their momentum. If anything, it helps them because Bruce Boudreau gets some time in practice with his team. Demko is one of the best goaltenders in the league, and I expect Anaheim to really regress here. So I feel like this is a generous price. And I also will go on the show right now and recommend Vancouver to make the playoffs at plus 470. Unbelievable price there, Carm, for Vancouver. Kind of a stretch, but I think it's a pretty good long shot wager to plug in here. What are your thoughts on this game, and can Vancouver keep it going?
Yeah, I think they do. I think the coaching changes definitely helped this team. They had a lot of talent. They just weren't competing. They just weren't playing. Again, in talking about these pauses and, these teams being off 12 days and 11 days respectively, I'm still not convinced that this long pause is one to make you completely flip on how teams are going to play. We've seen these teams, when there's an all-star break, you've got like 4 or 5 days off. They're still professional athletes. It's not like they're not in complete game shape. These guys are still professional athletes. And last year, myself included, were ready to bury the Vancouver Canucks when they were off about 2 or 3 weeks, and then came back and had a schedule of a bunch, like 16 games in 24 days. And yet, what did they do? They came back off that COVID break and beat some very good teams along the way at big prices. So, and I wasn't convinced, and I lost money because of it. So I'm not convinced that them being off 12 or 13 days is going to affect them immensely. With that said, Anaheim's been a good team. Prez did say they're actually an exciting team to watch. They've got guys out there, they're skating, they've got speed, and they're winning games. But regression has got to hit this team at some point. Hopefully it is now, so we can start sort of betting against them. But, they lost that game to Arizona. And, that was their last game they played on the 17th. We'll see tonight. For me, it's Vancouver as well, too, here. Prez?
I'm with you guys. I love this Vancouver Canucks team. I've been saying it all year. And they cost me some wins at the beginning of the year for my clients because I was playing them and they just couldn't get out of their own way. This is a team that, Andrew, I think you're right. I think they have not a good chance of making the playoffs, but I think there's a ton of value on that playoff bet. But with that said, both of you guys, I don't want to play against Anaheim right now. This Anaheim team, they are way better than I thought they would be, and they're having fun. And we've spoken about the fun angle. I actually consider that angle to be important. I want to see teams that I'm betting on smiling and laughing and high-fiving on the bench. I prefer the over in this game, guys. It's 5.5. Vancouver, right when Boudreau took over, was playing to the under. They won 4-0 against LA, then 2-1 against Boston. But then they started reverting back, where it was 4-3 Winnipeg, 4-3 Columbus, 5-2 San Jose. Teams won 6 games in a row. I don't want to get in the way of that streak. I'm looking to play the over in this game, and that's probably that.
Great stuff, Prez. Looking towards the Canucks, but also the over in this game. Hey, I agree with you. I wouldn't say great stuff if I didn't agree with you, but I do agree with you on that. It is too bad, though, Prez, because I came on Wager Talk today with you and Teddy. Before the season started, I was all excited. I gave out Vancouver plus 175 to make the playoffs, and now you can get them at plus 475 to make the playoffs. So if any of you guys didn't bet that then, maybe bet it now, a little sprinkle on that for now. Let's jump into power plays. It was a sweep on the show yesterday. Let's try and do it again today, guys. Enjoyable show, some great information, trying to dive through all the COVID protocols and all the return to play here with these teams. Carm, kick us off, man. Let's start with you with a power play and what you have up for clients tonight at wagertalk.com.
Yeah, afternoon, 3 games in the EPL kicks off at 2:30, so you can get those at over at WagerTalk. And NHL tonight, it's going to be 3 plays up in NHL, so even that's 1 day all access, because there will be a couple of other plays that likely go up. 1 day all access for $39 is not a bad deal to take. My show best bet is going to be a total and not a full game total. I'm expecting some goals in the Philadelphia and Seattle Kraken game. So I'm going to take the first period over 1.5. I think the juice is probably about 125, 130, could even go up to 135 at some point. But I'm expecting some goals in this game. So I am going to take the over 1.5 in the first period.
Kraken and Flyers over in the first period, over 1.5 goals for Carmine Bianco. What's your best bet here on the show, Mr. Prez?
I'm going to take Washington over the total today, Andrew. Also, I want to apologize. I don't think I was my best today on Puck Time. I really didn't bother you people as much as I normally do. So my humble apologies. I'm also rolling in everything right now, Andrew. I'm rolling in NBA. I'm rolling in NFL. Even my hockey. I did lose last night, but I'm rolling in hockey. I've got 1 hockey play up for my clients. I got 1 bowl game that goes at 3. I got a couple of NBA bets going tonight as well. So head over to my page and take a look. Other than that, the over in Washington, it's a pleasure being on the show. It went too long. I got to go.
It did go a little bit long. Prez looking at an over tonight on the show here for his best bet. Lots of action up for him at his profile page at wagertalk.com. Guys, I'm rolling as well. I was very transparent for me about my NHL season. In October, I got crushed. I told Carm that. I told Prez. I made it very, very, very clear online. November, I went on that massive streak. December's been solid as well. Turn things around, up over 10 units now on the season after a really, really rough start. I'm on a 30-10, 75% NHL run right now. Several plays up for clients, including some World Hockey plays up for clients. You can find that at my capper page, wagertalk.com, coming off a 3-1 day yesterday in hockey action. Today's best bet, you heard how strongly I feel about it. We're riding with the Vancouver Canucks at a pick 'em price here against the Anaheim Ducks, missing a couple of their young players. And I feel like that time off to practice will only help this Vancouver Canucks team to continue that winning streak that they are on. Recapping these power plays, I like Vancouver. Carmine's on Philadelphia, Seattle over in the first period, and the Prez with Nashville, Washington over the total of 6 here tonight on this Wednesday slate. I just want to say thanks so much for all the great welcome backs message we saw yesterday, the comments, everything on Twitter. We really do appreciate the great viewership we do have here on Puck Time. On behalf of Carmine, on behalf of Prez, our producer Dan, I'm Andrew. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
When WagerTalk acquired the iconic Gold Sheet, the goal was to turn it into a modern, user-friendly product providing high-quality content and data. We're well on our way to achieving just that, and we want to show you how far it's come. From Friday, December 24th through Sunday, January 2nd, enjoy free access to the Gold Sheet. Just head to goldsheet.com and sign in using username free@goldsheet.com and use password free to get access to our NFL, college football, NBA, and college basketball content for the entire week. No credit card, email, or registration is required. Check it out. And if you enjoyed the new and improved Gold Sheet like we know you will, lock in savings now and grab our 2022 football Gold Sheet for just $99. That's right, until January 1st, 2022, we're taking $100 off the regular price of $199. From all of us here at WagerTalk Sports Memo and the Gold Sheet, we wish you a wonderful holiday season and a prosperous new year.